Oh my goodness, I don't know. Oh wow, that's me. That's crazy. We can, by the way, that panel is see-through, so we've just been like watching you guys for the past like 10 minutes. It's great. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but like it is just straight up see-through. Hi, hello, let me sit down. Woo, okay. Hi, in case you don't know what this is or who I am, I'm Ranboo. I'm the creator of Generation Lost and everything. This is great. I can just do call and response. I can just say the name for like 30 minutes. This is good. But yeah, today we're going to be doing just like a little thing of just like saying behind the scenes, showing some cool stuff. I DM'd the executive producer like a week ago being like, hey, can you make me a PowerPoint? And so we've made a PowerPoint and everything for you guys, which is going to be fun. Yeah, PowerPoint. This is good. We have PowerPoint fans here. This is great. But yeah, so it will just be me and like 5 ghosts. So, yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I guess I'll introduce everyone, and then we'll get into it. My goodness. You guys are so excitable. This is great. All right. So, our first little guest, you may know him as the guy that started, well, he's here.
I couldn't hear you.
You couldn't hear? So you just came on.
Yeah, sorry, that's my bad.
This is our executive producer, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jacob Comer. I'm the executive producer for the show.
Yeah. He also played, who did you also play?
Well, I played Christoph, the director of the show. Is that? And also,
Yeah,
you're
also-
probably referring to the CEO of,
Yeah.
of Showfall Media.
Yeah. He was the guy, you said, like, you got so many compliments saying, like, how good at acting you were. So I'm very, very proud of that. But yeah, this is, yeah. Yeah, all right. Do you have anything else you want to say? Introduce yourself more?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I had so much fun working on this project. This is the longest project that myself and my group has ever worked on. We worked on it for over a year. And I'm just so proud of what we did. And I think the fan response has been amazing. So I can't wait to see what more we have to do.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now our next little guest, I don't know if he's gonna come on beforehand or not, but you may know him as well. Okay. By the way, in case you haven't seen Generation Lost: The Social Experiments, there's gonna be spoilers like throughout this entire panel. I assume that you guys knew that, but I'm just making sure because the guy that I'm introducing, you guys probably know as the guy that put me in a box. So. He also helped with some of the overlay and everything, when you got to choose that little creative creature. His team was behind that. Kraken.
The hatch.
He put me in the box. Oh, my goodness.
What's up, buddy?
Hi. I'm the hatch. I killed that sweet boy. So thanks to all you guys. I also played Squiggles, the little guy.
Squiggles!
And yeah, my company designed all the interactive elements, such as the votes and the QTE kind of fighting stuff, and the pipe mini game, and all that fun stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is just great. I'm just having a good time. This is just fun. All right, well, our next person, you may. I could feel it. You may know. Well, let me think. You may know her as the person that got shot twice. We've got Nikki.
Nikki.
Hi, everyone. Hello. I I'm Nikki Nihachu. You might have seen me because I got shot twice. You know, I could have survived, but they didn't want me to, so, you know, yeah.
You guys did that, by the way. I'm just saying, like, you guys were the ones that chose
Honestly,
for Nikki to get shot.
What were you guys thinking? What were you guys thinking?
You guys voted that. Could have been Austin. It could have been Austin.
Should have been Austin.
Should have been Austin, honestly. Would have loved to see Austin get shot. Oh my goodness. Now, oh my goodness. How do I even introduce the last guy? Oh, you're spoiling it. You're spoiling it. Oh, say random names. It's fine. Okay, never mind. Don't do that. You may know him as the guy that was in a very odd relationship with a skeleton. That is great that got cheers. I love that. We have Sneeg. Look at him.
Wow. Oh my Lord. Wow. What is happening right now?
I don't know, man. I just kind of got thrown in here.
Hello, I'm Sneeg. You might know me from Gen Loss, or I guess my skeletal partner. But yeah, I stream on Twitch. I do that mostly, and somehow I did this, so.
Oh my goodness! Look at all of us just here. This is great. This is awesome. Oh my goodness. Well, we do have a little bit of a PowerPoint to show everyone. I know, PowerPoint enthusiasts. Now is your time. But yeah, so we're just going to be going over pretty much how it started and then everything that else that went through. So we have the PowerPoint that we can show you. Why is it just me? Oh, there it is. Look at that. Look at that.
I'm right there.
Oh my goodness. You're there. All it takes is an image of him. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we're just going to be telling you guys how it happened. So it all began once upon a time, a while ago, where I was just like, hey, I've got a cool little idea. Do you want to hear about it? And then you responded, well, yeah, you'd love to hear about it. You said that. And there goes the biggest mistake of your life.
Basically.
But yeah, so it originally started as just the cabin, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, when Ranboo reached out to me, he had this idea, you could see here, of like, I want a horror, sort of analog horror thing, and I want there to be jump scares, and I want there to be involvement from chat, and you know, we really kind of started. I mean, you can see this is the inception, as I knew it, of what the project was. I know that you had been thinking about it for a long time prior to that.
Yeah.
But I prepared here a couple, like, this was on that very first day. I said, hey, write up the picture in your head. And I always say one thing. I promise you one thing. Whatever you write on this paper is not what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, no, it's
a great place to start.
I remember like during like the first meetings and everything, I would just like ramble and go on like 14 different tangents, and then you go like, "That's great, but I asked you when it was." Like it was.
Can confirm I was on those calls and they were long. And,
they were. It was
no?
just me talking about it, being like, "Oh, what if we did this? What if we just added all this stuff?" So yeah, but then like we slowly like went through it more and more, just me like just saying a bunch of random stuff, just writing it like pretty much anything all down into these random documents. And then basically I was talking with one of my friends, Ash Kabosu, and he was just like, why don't you, he was just like, oh, wait, you want to do like this, like, like horror project Generation Lost, why don't you just like, intertwine the two? And I was just like, that makes so much sense. Too much sense, honestly. I have no idea how I didn't think of it, but I'm glad that he said it. So then we kind of wrote out like more and more. We wrote out like the second day and the third day and everything. And then that's when,
So I, at the time that he reached out to me, was working on a project for another creator, and we were in the process of trying to take over this mall in St. Louis, and so we had.
Side note: the mall I grew up in, by the way.
Yeah, which would have been great.
I could have driven to Gen Loss, but no.
No.
And so it was like, well, maybe we could co-locate the projects to help save on cost and production infrastructure and that sort of thing. And so it was like, oh, we're working on this abandoned mall. Like, is there a way to sort of work that into the story? And so that's like between Kryken and Ranboo is like the story started to develop around this idea of an abandoned mall.
Yeah, I was so incredibly happy when you came to me with an abandoned mall because I think originally the third act was meant to be like this like facility thing that was like you're gonna open up the door and there's just the back rooms or something. Yeah, it was gonna be weird and definitely not physically possible to pull off live.
No, totally not.
But when you came to me with this mall, I was just like, that's really good. We just have to do it in this, and we have to like, because I love abandoned malls. I absolutely love abandoned malls.
So at this point, we were working on this mall idea, and that's when we brought Ghost Commander, Kryken and Lauren and their team into the fold. I had worked with them before. By the way, before I get off this slide, this is a photo inside the freight elevator that we all had to take to work every day.
That elevator was crazy.
It was a scary
God, yeah.
elevator.
In the back of the Sears. Yeah, it was pretty terrifying.
Any moment it could have fallen down.
It was like-
Yeah, it says that notice sign in the corner says no passengers should go on this whatsoever. It's only for
Oh
free.
yeah, it does.
It was like lime green too, so I just called it Shrek's Mall every time we went in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting commute, but
Well, yeah.
oh man.
But I had originally worked with Ghost Commander on Jerma's Dollhouse, which was a show that I had produced for him, and we brought Kryken and Ghost Commander in to do the real-time overlay stuff and the real-time decision making and the graphic overlays and that sort of stuff. And so when Ranboo started telling me about his project and what his vision was for it and this whole like audience interaction component, I thought it was a totally natural connection, and I gave Kryken a call and brought their team on really early. I mean, I think you guys were in within the first month of us starting to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty sick because thankfully you had already like so many like resources and so much like experience already doing the Dollhouse and everything that like it was very, very nice to be able to like take that and then.
And I think it was so cool how we were able to almost like pay homage to Dollhouse with day one of the stream, setting it up in that sort of railroad style sets, sitcom style sets, and it like it had the same sort of look and feel to it, especially with the like player interactivity and the inventory system and like all that kind of stuff was really neat. But then to watch it devolve and get really weird and to start breaking the characters' minds and then eventually break the audience's mind. I mean, that's really what I was in it for. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think one thing to add too is there are very few shows like this on the internet right now that are both live and big, productions and involve so many different people collaboratively working together, especially involve you guys as an audience that are actually participating in it. And so it was really important to us that we took some of the lessons from Dollhouse and also, working with Jerma. I mean, Jerma came all the way out and was there for the entire shoot when he didn't need to be, just because he really believed in what we were doing, and he kind of saw this also as like a spiritual successor to Dollhouse, which made it all just kind of feel like this full circle family endeavor, which I hope came across because it felt like it from on our side.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that there was like talks when we were like first doing it, of just like it would be a lot easier if we pre-recorded like a lot more of this.
I pushed you so hard.
You pushed me very hard on it, including potentially like, oh my God, there were so many bits and everything. But I just remember like just constantly being like, I don't care if it will like be like so much more work or like a lot more like money to put into it. It's just like we have to do like some of these parts live because I just really wanted to do it live.
Yeah, and we'll get into it in a second, but we tried to do everything live that we could. There was only a handful of things that we did that weren't live, and like the towel. I don't know what you're talking about.
The towel was live, actually.
Towel was live.
Charlie's face can just do that. It can. It's crazy.
I don't think they were talking about that part.
So after we started script developing and stuff, that mall in St. Louis kind of fell apart. They wound up going through an ownership change, and like that wasn't going to work. But we were now so deep into script development around this idea of the mall and building the mall into it. We then had to go and find a mall to do it in. And so I, along with my team, we scouted like over 40 malls across the country. And we eventually wound up here.
Yeah!
You can see it in full daylight here. We're not allowed to disclose where it was, but I could say that it was in New York.
Yeah.
The show was in New York.
Any New Yorkers?
And the reason that I really like this mall, there were two main components to it. One, the timing worked out really well. This mall was in operation until the day before we moved in. So it was like a freshly abandoned mall. It wasn't super gross. So many of these places were super gross. Well,
There was a super gross place.
But in comparison with like places that have been sitting for years.
Dude, there was like a KFC that like still had grease on the floor.
Yeah, there was a fully functioning KFC.
And
was
eggs.
great.
And mice, and yeah, it was not great.
Oh yeah, we found bones in the hallways. There was just straight up bones.
Don't eat at the mall is what I learned.
Oh my God, it was sick. No, like straight up, like it looked like someone's vertebrae was just like in the hallway.
Yeah.
It was sick.
But the two main things that I loved about this space was the aesthetic of this food court. This is like a late 70s, early 80s aesthetic, and it's like super identifiable as a food court. I just love the way that this looks. And this is a photo that I took when there was actually people still eating there. You can see on our site visit. And the second thing that really sealed the deal for me on this space was this endless hallway. And you could see it here before we blacked it out, but this idea that, the mall is 2 city blocks long, and this hallway goes the entire length of the mall. It's a 2 city block long hallway. And so I knew that, like, based on where we were with the script and stuff, that there would be an opportunity to do some kind of chase scene. And I was like, this is it. We got to figure out how to use this for the chase scene.
A chase scene, I think, was in there, like, since, like, you first showed, like, the first mall. We were just like, we have to have a one take where you get chased somehow. We have to do that.
Yeah, and that mall in St. Louis, that mall is almost a quarter mile long as well. And,
oh, my God.
It's like super circular, too. So,
Yeah,
you could have gone the whole length.
Yeah, we had this plan for this like 500 millimeter box lens to do this single take, like adjusting focus thing across the whole thing. But in the end, this worked out great.
Yeah, it was great. I didn't have to run a quarter mile. Jesus Christ. Oh. The cabin. Whoa. I love this. This is great. So the cabin was in an abandoned Sears. We kind of were just like, we like went through like the planning and everything and like the blocking of like where everything was gonna be. And yeah, so it was just straight up in that Sears. And here's another one of it getting, but there's TVs here.
And I think we worked pretty hard to try to incorporate the space. Like the chimney that's on the back of the attic is actually a support structure you can see here that's like part of the building. And so like this idea of like, well, let's, for everything throughout the show, let's use what's already in the mall to help leverage this, because not only was it like practical and economical, it was a part of the story. It was like Showfall Media came and took over the mall. They took over the mall and they used it for their purposes to create content, but like they used the stuff that was in the mall. And so we did the same thing. We used the stuff that was in the mall.
Yeah, exactly. We had like, there was like a little bit of like understory thing of just like, there's a lot of like different like eras of technology that's used throughout and everything to show that like they might have just like gone into like an abandoned Best Buy or something and then just like grabbed a ton of stuff and then put it into like these wires and used it for these machines and everything.
We literally did that.
And we literally did that. We looted that mall. Like it was. They were like throwing things away, and we were like going through the trash. This is cool.
I have a Cinnabon soda machine at my house now.
You did steal an entire soda machine. Oh my goodness! Yeah, this is one of the
server room.
This is the server room. Oh, only fun activities in there. The door. Yeah, the door. Oh, this is great. So on the left there, you can see what they started to build the door as. And then when we saw it, we were just like, that is a tall door.
Yeah, so I think an important thing to mention here is that so the build from start to end was about 2 months, and one treat that we got that really I think in the end wound up making the show was the fact that Ranboo came to live at the mall for 2 months. And so, like a lot of productions that we do, you know, we have a plan, and then the creator comes in a few days before the show, and we do blocking and like all that sort of stuff. But Ranboo's so passionate about making this project his that when he's there at the mall, literally every single day for 16 hours with the rest of us, you know, when we're building stuff and our art team puts this together, it's easy to look at and go, nope, that's not the vision that I had in my head. Let's figure out how to change it. And I think that like ultimately really shaped the show because you could be there.
I had like an office that was actually in the same place as the monster cage. That's where my little setup was, and I would have like probably hundreds of times where people would come down and be like, "Hey, is this okay?" And I like look over and I go, "Change this, or that's okay." And then like it would go up, and then it was good to be there though. It was great to be there, except for the fact,
critical.
you know, except for the vitamin D deficiency. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
We're getting to that.
Okay, hold on. It was because of them all. Oh my goodness.
This is the office of Showfall Media under construction. We literally rented cubicles from a cubicle company that, like, you know, you
Those exist?
get your office done.
They just like produce cubicles?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you not know
they
about the
rent
cubicle company, dude?
Shot in one. I got shot.
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
This is
what we would do.
we needed the ceiling tiles damaged, and so this is our set decorator with a gingerbread man.
Not the gumdrop forest.
Normal activity. Normal activity.
Oh my god, that was great. Oh my goodness. So, the way that this came about is that we met up for like the first time at a TwitchCon, and we were just like talking about the project and everything, and then you, like in your, like, I don't know what like type of vision that you had when we were talking, but you said like, what if we just like perfectly recreated like Charlie's setup and had him stream from the mall. And then we found this place, it's like literally called like Charlie's Philly Takes or something. And
Yeah, I had this vision, and like originally I was like, well, what if we had a whole bunch of streamers and we like recreate all their bedrooms and then they're all like live on their channels? But it wasn't like super practical. But once it became evident how involved Charlie was going to be in the stream, I was like, we have to do this for Charlie. And we're there doing site visit, and we're looking at all the different streamers' spaces are set up in different restaurants in the food court, right? And there's a Charlie's cheesesteaks, and it was like, this is
perfect.
Absolutely perfect. And so we took this nasty kitchen.
it was this was the grossest part. There was like eggshells everywhere. There was like oil. Perfect for, you know, Charlie's character. Probably not perfect for Charlie.
It's probably the slimiest place in the mall, yeah.
And then that's when we
There he is.
Is that Charlie?
Charlie looks
I think that's Charlie.
Yeah, that's Charlie.
looks different.
The gross thing is that grease trap was leaking, and there's like a giant grease stain on the
It
carpet.
kept leaking.
Yeah,
throughout the show.
Up top, it's holding all the grease that I think was emptied out at the start, right? And just has like replenished, like it's this auto.
We were too scared.
running
to
down the
empty it
pipes,
out.
Generating
It was not
grease
good.
pipe.
Stuff. Yeah, it was pretty awful.
Terrible.
But in the end, it looks, you know, like a streamer setup.
It looked real. It looks really good. We fooled a lot of people with Charlie reacting to, oh my god,
Colors.
Charlie reacting to colors.
so good.
So
So
good.
funny.
Oh
It was
my god.
So funny.
That came about, I think, like 2 days before.
I think it was the night
less
before
than
rehearsal.
Shorter.
The
It's
night
like
before.
12 hours
Yeah.
before day 3.
We were just like all like in like, you know, the lounge area, just kind of like talking about like, oh, what can we do? What can Charlie do for a stream? I think like one of us said like, what if Charlie just reacted to like just stationary colors?
Yeah,
And we just switched them.
I think
There-
the original idea was like we wanted to make really like what a corporation would think is good TikTok content.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it kind of devolved into like how much worse could we make this fake content creator content? And then it became literally him reacting to colors. So.
Just stereotypical React content, but it's bad.
There was a concept to have the Showfall employees do TikToks and like actually just like recreate.
We were
TikToks.
gonna have them do that.
Yeah, but it didn't work because it was supposed to be in universe as Slime, as a creator within the confines of Showfall. So
there would have been a lot of, you know,
hand-waving.
technical story stuff that would have gotten jumbled up because of it. So we just went, let's put the color blue on there. And then that's it. That's all we did.
And now that weird YouTube account has like tens of thousands of followers.
It's so funny. Oh my goodness, there it is.
I'll talk for a minute about the tech. So this is our tech area built out. We had over 40 video sources throughout the mall. I think we were upwards of 35 cameras and screens that went out to every part of the mall, miles and miles and miles of fiber and other backbone stuff to make all this work. The crazy thing is that like if we could physically have done it, not that we ever would have, but like technically we were prepared to have shot the whole show in one day. Like it's not like we were moving equipment around, like it was all set up from beginning to end because we knew that once we hit show week, it was gonna be rehearsal show, rehearsal show, rehearsal show. There's no time to do any tech set between. And so we have this like crazy setup here with just an insane amount of cable coming in. You could see all the fiber before it was pinned to the ceiling, and
which the wires worked. That's the thing. Is that the good thing is that we were just like, wait, we don't have to hide any of them.
We don't have to hide wires.
Set deck, it works.
Yeah, that would have been a whole nightmare to try to hide all that stuff in the ceiling.
Oh my God, yeah.
This honestly kind of looks like the spawn point of the monster.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I love that guy. The monster. Sorry, I want to talk about the monster a little bit. He was playing. Wow, cheering for the thing that absolutely ruined that guy. Really?
What the hell?
Okay.
Guys, that's messed up. That's messed up. That's all I'm saying. It's fine. We'll talk about it later.
We'll see. But I think the main thing for the monster was that I was just like, we need someone that is a lot taller than I am. Because there were some scenes in which I would be standing like almost directly next to the monster that we had like literally going into like building the set and everything. We were like, okay, there's gonna be this scene. And I was just like, if I'm standing next to the monster and he's like here, that is not gonna be as scary as it should be. So then I think someone had a friend that was just like.
Yeah, it was somebody that we've used. He does a lot of voiceover work for us, but he lives in New York, and his stage name is Tony Broadway, and he's 7 feet tall. He's almost 7'1". And it was a challenge to make that costume. But
yeah, that
totally
costume.
Worked.
Oh, the costume is so sick. But we'll get into.
We'll get there.
I get so excited. I love this. All right. So there's me making sure that I could fit through the wall. It's a tight squeeze, as you can see.
Only one of us can make it. So.
Only one of us can make it in.
No affiliation with Snapchat, by the way. That's just kind of the way.
It did look like a ghost, yeah. Oh boy.
But this is kind of like leading into that final week with rehearsals and stuff, like testing all the stuff and making sure that it looks the way that we want it to. This was, as you said, one of the first times we operated the wall. Going in, this is like the day before our rehearsals. This is behind the cabin, what it looks like back there, using actual, Christmas trees to create those shadows. And this is what it looks like in front of those rooms with light towers and cameras and stuff to be able to get the static shots on those rooms. I mean, it doesn't look like rocket science from here. It just looks like a bunch of stuff we stood up. But it really worked. I mean,
it worked well.
It all
worked
came
well.
together. Yeah. This.
I have no idea what this is.
Nikki, do you know what this is?
Is that the room?
This is where I died.
Yeah,
oh my God, it is?
So about this, I told my chef, when I went into the room, I didn't know what the room looked like, by the way. When I went into the room and I fell down and died, I only saw the door in front of me, and I saw the reflection of chat. That's the only thing I saw, and it was just chat. No, Nikki! Oh my God, what happened? What happened? Oh my God, Nikki! And then I started screaming, and they're like, oh my God, save her! She's alive! She's alive! And then I got shot again. No! And I just saw the reflection. I could not even see anything else. No! And it was so funny. I had to hold myself back not to laugh.
I actually have a question for you. Did you get a good view of Jerma in those prosthetics, like pointing the gun at you? Because I was terrified for anyone that was in the room with him at that point when he had
a vision.
Be burned into my memory at that point.
So I opened the door, and the door opens inside, right? So I opened the door, and I know he was standing there, but I didn't know where. I opened the door, and he stands behind the door, and it scared me so much. I knew what he looked like, but you just forget. You think it's Germa. Yeah.
It's not.
It was terrifying, honestly. My scream, genuine.
He would like stare at people too. When he put those prosthetics on, which took hours, he
yeah.
would walk around and just.
He would just terrorize the set.
Terrifying.
It was scary. It was very, very scary, especially when he handed me the gun as well, because we had it was a prop gun, so we had a safety briefing about it, being like, okay, no one else is supposed to hold this except for Germa. He was the only guy that was allowed and given permission to hold this. And on stream, what he did was he just handed it to me. And I was like, okay. So
you see your reaction. You're like,
yeah, I'm holding it like this because I'm like, it's not meant to fire, but I'm still afraid that it can for some reason.
We had to stand. We all stand. This is how
Yeah.
important this was. We stood in a circle, and everyone, the crew was like, guys, listen, this gun, no one touches it. It's a real gun. It's not meant to fire. And we were all there like, what do we do? So that must be terrifying.
And then he gave it to me. And I was like, oh, sweet, okay. This is not supposed to happen.
to be very clear, it was a modified gun with the barrel welded shut.
Oh, it wouldn't have shot unless someone pulled a really funny prank on me.
No, I mean, it couldn't. But
Oh my God, a running joke that we had was that I was the most killable person on set.
it's true.
You could replace so many props, and I would be dead.
Yeah, if this was like a Hitman level, this would be the first level.
I was so easily murderable.
Yeah, there were so many different
during that
ways. We
point
could have just
in time.
replaced the box with a real one,
That would have been hilarious.
We could give you a mask
Kidding,
that
I'm kidding.
electrocutes you.
You could have given me a mask that electrocuted me. That would have been really funny.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Now what the heck is that?
So, one thing that we talked about, this was like a month prior to the build, was what's the timing? When are we going live? And it became evident that it was going to be daytime Eastern when we were doing the show, which for episodes 1 and 2 doesn't matter at all. Those are all in completely interior scenes. But in day 3, we're in the concourse of the mall, which is lit by these giant skylights, 75,000 square feet of skylights, and we had this continuity problem of how do we make sure that it's nighttime when we're shooting? How do we make sure the lighting looks the same? And so we were set with this task of covering the skylights.
Get rid of the sun.
Blacking out the sun, yeah. And it was this long process of finding the right vendors and getting cost under control. There were 6 skylights to cover, 4 medium, 1 small, and 1 huge. This is the huge one. That's actually my mother there, by the way. Shout out to Mom.
Mom. who we had painting the employee masks for 8 hours a day for a week.
Yup.
And I would walk into the little production area and everything, and there would just be your mother just painting these masks and everything. I was just like, is she okay? Is she okay with this?
So we did. We blacked out the sun, and it was terrible because we did this 3 weeks prior to the shoot, which was dumb.
We didn't need to do it.
Because we all just started having sleep problems because we'd be in there for 16 hours a day, and then when you'd leave to go to the hotel, it was nighttime. And so for those of us that were on set, for weeks and weeks and weeks without a day off, it was just your sleep cycle started to slip. We all definitely had vitamin D deficiency. I think the entire crew got sick. I wouldn't recommend it. Living in total darkness.
We still made sure that they were okay.
Yeah.
Remember
they
that.
were
Make it
fine.
sound like everybody was dying
Just
around
saying that
you.
everyone on set was deathly ill because of this.
Yeah.
And you're just like, no, okay.
Yeah, they were fine.
Anyways, guys, if anyone wants to join the crew, we have new spots. There are new spots open.
My one ask is that you don't unionize. All behind the scenes, the pre-shoot stuff. So there it is in some random New York, just bridge. We just
There's a
shot.
Williamsburg Bridge.
Yeah. We just kind of shot all of it, and it was we had to do a little bit because I had to do promotion material and all of that. But that's I think the first teaser. I'm pretty sure that was the first day of pre-shooting.
Yeah, we did the pre-shoot in a few stages. The first was all of the merch and the teaser stuff, and then we started on some of the story-related stuff, and then we sort of got into the stuff that would be part of the show, the pre-shot stuff that was part of the show. So the first was
Yeah. Wowie.
go buy the merch. We're still
How'd that
paying
get
for the
in there?
project.
Look at that. Wow. So we had to shoot some pre-shoot stuff, which includes these. Whoa! What merch promos? That's crazy. Yeah. So there's. I don't know if we're allowed to do this, but there is still merch available if you want to get it. GenerationLost.tv. There it is. That's what it looks like if you want to, get someone wearing it right now. It's very nice. Hasn't.
I've seen a bunch of you out with merch on the show floor.
Oh, I've seen so many people have
Thanks
it.
for
It's
supporting.
great. It's so great. Oh, well, there's our shameless plug. Whoa.
Oh, sorry, this is loud.
There's the billboard. Yeah. How many times can you say that you put yourself tied to a chair before a Life of Pi ad? That's incredible. Oh, yeah, so I had the funny idea of getting a billboard because I just thought it would be really funny to do it. And I asked, I was just like, hey, can we get a billboard for this? Because I think it'd be funny. And then you said yes, and then we got a billboard.
Yeah, I had a seller that I worked with in the past who does Times Square billboards, and we made it happen.
Yeah.
It was great. It was raining, but...
Yeah, we just got a billboard for some reason.
I love the idea of this like very serious Times Square setting, and then there's just like a Twitch link.
Yeah, imagine
50-year-olds are like, what is
Imagine
Twitch?
you have like no idea what's going on, then all of a sudden you see like Ranboo live strapped to a chair. Like that'd be crazy. Oh, there's you.
There's the CEO of Showfall Media. I had not shaven my face in like 8 years. And so I went to the barber and had him shave my face and to do this, and everybody kept looking at saying that I looked like a jelly bean, which I thought was kind of funny. But
Well, that's what you look like. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Jelly bean energy.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. So. Yeah, so you may be wondering what this is for. Yeah, so you may be wondering what that was for. I guess this is like a first like cool announcement-ish of
yeah, this
the
is definitely
day.
not public yet.
So, and we're gonna make it public. So basically, there's this little like award show that goes on like yearly, basically, and we decided like, wouldn't it be funny if we applied to it for some reason? And so we had to like make this and send it and everything. And it was great. So hopefully, I have no idea because voting's still going on. Oh wait, I didn't say the name of the award.
Yeah, so
You haven't even said what it's for.
the voting is going on right now to the end of June 30th. If you know anybody that has voting rights for the Emmys, please let them know
Yeah.
to vote for us. We'd love to get a nomination.
We applied for an Emmy, which is hilarious. You have no idea what a funny bit it's going to be if anything happens with that. You have no idea how hilarious
It would be crazy. So the category is like interactive media or something like that. And we had to submit, the submission deadline was before the show aired. And so we had to submit like a demo reel of what it was going to look like.
Yeah. So this is what we told the Emmys that it was going to look like.
And then after the show aired, they came back to us and said, hey, can you send another cut with the real footage? And we were
Yeah,
like,
they
we
came
definitely
back
can."
to us based on that. So we'll see. I have no idea.
I like
but
the idea of going to the red carpet and it's just like us.
It'd be
Like,
really
of all people.
it'd be
Just a bunch of
such a
nerds.
good bit. Like it'd be that's literally the
So
only
weird.
reason. Like I was just like, this would be such a funny bit if like we got nominated. It'd be really funny. Oh, the beach.
Should we tell the story of this place?
Oh, sure. Let's tell the story of the beach. It's pretty cool.
So we had one day to shoot all the exterior Dimension Door scenes, and we had this plan for this beach that we were going to go to shoot the scene. And we get there, and it turns out that it was a private beach, and we couldn't shoot there. But we had like really limited time to do this. So we went to this other beach that was like a state park, but we definitely didn't like ask anybody if we could be
well,
there.
are we allowed to say that we? Are we allowed to say that?
Well, no, we eventually got permission on site.
Oh, we did
But
get
it was
permission.
like
Okay,
it was
good.
this really hairy thing of like, a bunch of dudes like carrying this door through a park, like down to the beach,
just carrying
and then
the
while
door.
we're like trying to get permission to do this thing, and eventually we got the permission that we needed to do it. So.
Yeah, we got the permission, thankfully, like on the day of, which is how you should all shoot your films. Do it. Get permission on the day of. No, I'm kidding. So that's the forest, which was also just like straight up right next to the beach.
It was in a
Worked out
parking lot,
really
yeah.
well. Yeah, there's a parking lot like right behind this, so we had to make sure to not show that. And then until we did show it, actually, that is incredibly timed. So yeah, so this is an extra one that didn't get shown during the stream because the chat didn't vote for the third dimension door. Yeah, you should be sorry about it. I wanted to see the roller coaster. No, but you guys, I think I've shown it off before, but we were just like, let's just make the roller coasters blow up. And then I'm just like really pissed at this point that it's happening. And then we did through movie magic and practical effects.
They look
No,
great.
I'm kidding. But yeah, it's great. And then there's me. So cutesy. Oh my God.
This is a KFC kitchen.
This is a KFC kitchen.
There's
yeah.
the grease. The grease is back there. I told you. Look.
Oh yeah, you can see the grease. Oh, that's wow. Look at that. And then the laser scene.
So, like I said, there were a few scenes that we practically had to shoot ahead of time in order to make them work. And one of my favorite stories is the laser scene because we knew that we couldn't shoot the laser scene live. There are safety issues, safety concerns around using the lasers. You can't get cameras in places because you could risk damaging the cameras. You can't get crew into places because of eye safety issues. And so we knew that there was going to be this laser scene, and the room was designed, and it was like a couple weeks before the show, and we were like, okay, well, we know that we're going to do this scene. Let's block it out, and let's figure out what's actually going to happen in this scene. And I had this idea of, well, it's going to be obvious to the audience that it's a pre-recorded scene no matter what we do.
Yeah.
Because none of the way that it's shot, the way that the camera angles are and stuff, it's very clear that it doesn't match the rest of the show. So I said, let's just full send it.
Let's just make it crazy.
Let's make it insane. And so that's where the talking towel and the anvil on the head and the flying body and the Star Trek teleporter like exit from the scene, because we got to the end, we were like, well, how are we going to get them into the next room? And I was like, well, screw it. We're like,
So I think that entire scene stemmed from like us having like a 16-hour day. Like we had just finished working everything. We were going through this scene, and we were just spouting all this random stuff that could be happening. It's just like, yeah, let's just like throw him a bunch. Let's have Charlie like come back as a towel, and then we'll throw him again. And then we're gonna have us teleport out of there. And it was nuts, but it turned out pretty good. Listen, okay.
do you want to see? Do you want to see?
Do you have any? Oh yeah, you want to see? You want to see us throwing him? That's a real guy, by the way.
1, 2.
The bass.
This was like the first thing we did when I showed up on set, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I landed, we did this like the week before, and I landed like as you guys did the stuff for day 3, and I walk on set, and you and Charlie are like exhausted, and I have no idea what's happening. And then we like go out for dinner or whatever, and then I come back the next day, and it's like, it's time for the laser scene. I had no idea what we were talking about.
I purposely kept it from you because I was like, this would be really funny if you just had
Like-
no idea.
I had no idea what you were saying, and I was just like, okay, whatever, just tell me what to do. And then like, every single time we'd get further in the scene, you would just tell me more stuff that we were doing, and I was like, I guess, sure, why not? I guess we're picking up Vinny.
All right, and you're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was a real anvil, and having God, was it Vince that had to hold it, like the 60-pound anvil, like all the way out? And
That
we were
dude is
trying to-
jacked.
Yeah, no, it was scary. We didn't want anyone to get hurt, except for the dummy, of course.
Except for him.
And thankfully, yeah, it landed head on.
What's neat is that we had the anvil, and then we had an exact replica foam anvil. And so in the scene that we use with the towel, and the anvil falls on the towel, that's a foam anvil that falls on the towel, even though they appear to be exactly identical.
It's why the somehow 60-pound anvil bounced.
Yeah.
Like no one caught on to that. They're just
Nobody
like, wait a
really
second, how did this
pointed that out.
anvil
That's a
bounce?
good point. Nobody was like, why is this anvil going?
No one
off the
questioned it.
screen?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was coming off of a talking towel, so I think the anvil bouncing was probably the least of their concerns. Oh, there he is.
Definitely look like you're ready for a Kids' Choice Awards.
I love him.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Goo Gooby.
Gooby. Oh man, Charlie did not know how much slime there was going to be.
This stuff is gross too. Like
It was cold.
It was cold.
Yeah, we-
it like froze him at certain, not like actually froze him, but like it somehow was like a really good conductor.
Yeah, there's
endothermic reaction.
an
Cold
endothermic reaction
energy.
to the body heat because when you're wearing it, it just sucks all the heat out of you. So he was actually
Yeah.
freezing to death in this slime outfit.
Shout out to him, man. He put
Yeah.
in the work for that. There's,
The champion.
oh my God, like there is a video that I have that I recorded on my phone of basically, so he had to be like basically helped into the suit because of like, you know, all
it
the
was
goop.
kind of funny.
And you can just hear his screams of like, oh, what is this? Like you can hear it in the video of just like me recording this like hallway, and it is the funniest thing.
It was awful.
It was, dude, he's great. I don't have it. It's,
I don't think we have it.
I don't
queued up.
have
You guys
it.
aren't gonna
I'll
see
play
it.
it one day.
You're
Okay?
not gonna be
I'll
able to
play
see it from there.
Do you want to see Slime's stunt double?
It was me!
So we didn't have Charlie on set for the hands, so we just used Kraken. And it worked. No one knew. No one knew. They all thought it was Charlie's hands.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So we shot this, you know, several days before, a week before, and then when it came time to do the show, what you hear Slimesicle saying was 100% live. So
Okay,
that's-
all right, and everything else got like not even 10. Guys, who's gonna be scared of that?
And because this is
You
right
turn my
before
creature
we go
into a
live, you
vehicle.
could see Ranboo
I'm
on the couch
right
in the
there.
background waiting.
I was having to
for
listen
you.
to him.
We can still save it. It's a little briny, but it's not all done. Come on, my baby's got a little longer in the oven. Let's finish it out strong.
I'm there.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Now, why did you guys have to pick a pickle jar? Like, come on.
It was funny.
Like, how sad. I just died to a pickle.
Tied to a pickle, dude. That's hilarious.
So the other crazy thing about that is that Anna, our wardrobe person, made that costume like after the vote was over. So she's back there with a sewing machine, like making that costume because we had all the parts, but we didn't know, like, depending on which torso was picked, you couldn't use the same amount of material. And so that was like made on the fly while the show was going on.
It was incredible. And there's the teeny dollhouse.
There's one of our props masters up top there with the bats.
With the bats. That was the Batman. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Okay,
Electrical
Ranboo,
burns.
Would you ever have thought that you would have, I don't know how many people here are cheering for you going to the hospital?
This is great. Yeah.
This is the most they have cheered today.
Oh, my God. Yeah. No, I didn't. I've never thought that this would be a thing of me showing myself in an ambulance. Oh, man. I was so happy. Oh, my God. Yeah, no, he He got that.
Really, he cupped you.
He got it. Oh, there's that.
For free?
It wasn't real. I didn't actually get into his guts on stream, but yeah. Oh my God! And then Frank.
Yeah! Yeah! Yes! Yes! That's my guy.
So, quick note about Frank. Sneeg actually made Frank happen because during the rehearsals of day one, when we were rehearsing Sneeg in the Cage, he was like, "Oh, it'd be great if I had someone to play with while I'm in here."
Hold on.
He used that exact wording too.
No,
hold on.
act alongside, right? And he was like, "What if we just got a skeleton?" And so the crew just ran out and they grabbed Frank and
From Target.
And then from Target, thank you Target. And he, based on how Chat and Sneeg, loved this guy so much, we're like, we should put him in the rest of the show. And so we wrote him in,
So, first of all, I didn't say someone to play with.
All right.
I
so many
saw
words.
the cage, and the original idea of the cage was I was supposed to be in there for like the first 40 minutes of the show, and I was like, first of all, absolutely not. That's crazy.
I wanted you to get into character by putting you in the cage.
So, thankfully, there's an intermission where I got in, but then when I got to the cabin day one, I was like, there's not like, how can we make it look more like I've been there a long time, right? And because there was like one of the bedpans and like the iron chain or whatever, and I was like, how could we get this more like lived in or whatever? And I was like, what if there was just like a skeleton by me? And then like for the rehearsal, they were like, I don't think we have one. We can't really do that. And then we show up day one to film the actual thing, and I walk in on the props team like unwrapping Frank out of his like packaging, and I was like, oh my God, it's happening. I was so excited. It was great.
Yeah. So
Also, Frank got treated like one of us.
Oh, he was.
Okay.
He was like one of us.
He was one of us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
So I wanted to show you this, not because what they're talking about is important, but every day before the show, on the rehearsal day prior, we sat around together, all the cast that was going to be on that day, and block out what the next day was going to look like. And especially for day two, where we had all that talent in the house, it was like what day two originally looked like versus what actually came out was completely different.
I think we had like so many changes, so many added scenes. I remember, Nikki, you were the one that came up to me and you're just like, hey, could I act this way? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like it was absolutely incredible. And it's like, I really, really wanted to like get like the creative energy of everyone. It was absolutely great.
It was incredible. I mean, it was really awesome to be able to like do something so high produced and amazing, and then have the entire production team be so willing to bend to all of the creators wanting different ideas thrown in. And like you especially being like the guy behind it, and then wanting to like allow us to add into it, like made the show that much better.
I think we learned a lot from Dollhouse. I mean, we've done a lot of other improv shows, but especially for Dollhouse, is like the creative energy of all those creators in that room. We could have sat there and scripted for months, which we did do.
We did.
But what we knew was that getting 6 or 8 really smart, really creative people in a room is going to produce something way better than we could ever write. Absolutely. And so we created that sort of framework for them to work in, and then we said, okay, we have like 30 minutes of content here. Let's figure out how to make this an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it was. And I mean, it was stellar. And the other crazy thing about day two was that because chat was choosing where people went, everybody had to be prepared for every scene. And so like Nikki getting double tapped, that was Austin's idea, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and they all practiced it.
And it happened like 30 minutes before the show started. We all went through our scenes, our deaths, the different rooms, and we were like, okay, Austin, it might be you. What if we practice you getting shots? So we also get the lighting right, the timing right. And then Austin just like, because he thought it was funny, started screaming again. And we were like, we'll take that. We'll do that.
Yeah. It's good for him to just be like missed.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best jokes in day two, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
great.
Absolutely.
God, Jeremy looks terrifying.
He was scary. He was scary. Do we want to talk about the It's a Bad Day to Be a Cheesecake?
The cheesecake in the room? Do we want to talk about the cheesecake in the room?
So the day before, day 2, we did our rehearsal, and that night we went out to dinner. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse, and for dinner, after dinner, they came by with dessert, and they brought cheesecake. And across the table.
Yeah, I was sitting next to one of our other producers who there was kind of a lull in the conversation, and he kind of turns to all of us and just goes, "It's a bad day to be a cheesecake."
It just didn't make any sense.
And like we all died. I mean,
well,
He was
at first there was just silence. We were like,
15
"What? Why would you say this?" There was no lead up to it. There's no like.
I think what really solidified it was that Nikki did not stop laughing for like a good 2 minutes.
Yeah.
so then after dinner, I went
waves.
back to the office and stayed up till 1 o'clock making that shirt. And then
It was
wore
it
next
was
day.
the day. It was the day before, like one of the most like technically like challenging productions, and you were up till 1 a.m. making me a shirt based on a single line during a dinner.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta decompress somehow.
oh my god, oh my goodness.
So this is Anna. She was our wardrobe master, and this is actually the blue jumpsuit thing you see is the base of the monster costume of the big 7-foot-tall monster costume. And but I just wanted to give a shout out to her because of all the incredible work she did. She also
Literally
designed all of
all
our
of
masks.
these.
She said she never wants to work on another mask ever again.
She made so many masks for this thing. Oh my god! Like it was like constant back and forth for like literally like hours to especially shape the that mask that I wore and everything, of like making sure that it was comfortable and everything, like doing all of that, and like it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, those are laser cut steel pieces, and we've got a few different editions of them. We have 3D printed substructure on them. I mean, that mask was a labor of love. For sure.
It took a while, and it's sick though. I love it. And then yeah, poor guy.
Poor guy.
Poor
jump
guy.
scare.
That's how he got the effect, was just someone with a light doing that.
Literally.
Yeah. Charlie is one of like, I don't know how he does it, but he is incredible.
Yeah, incredible talent.
Oh my god.
His screams are terrifying.
His screams are terrifying.
Action 1. Action 2. Camera action.
Yeah. This was. Yeah. It was. God. That run.
I think that the end sequence is my favorite part of the whole project. We still are not revealing where the cut is, and I challenge you to try to find it because you shouldn't be able to. There's the one take that we do from the back of the military surplus store, which was an old Radio Shack. So in my head, it's the Radio Shack. From the back of the Radio Shack all the way into to the death of Hetch is one shot, one scene, and the amount of planning that went into making all this happen the way that it did, and the emotion that it brought out, at least in me, in that last moment of your Truman Show bow in front of the door, it still gives me chills to watch it.
It's one of my favorite shots. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite. I think that was like my favorite day of when I was just like, holy crap, this is really fun.
We made a movie.
We made a movie basically on like it was great. There's I think testing the screen for the dead employee. There's whoa yeesh. So okay, I don't. the thing is that the funny thing is I'm about to talk about the monster costume, but the monster costume is really cool because it has like little like pieces of flesh inside of it, like fake pieces of flesh. I don't know if you can see it, but that's just a cool little tidbit there.
I think the funny thing is none of you even realized it was me until I think I pointed it out on Twitter.
Yeah,
because the smoke had gotten so crazy, like between the camera and us, that like you could see like maybe my hat and like the white of my hoodie. That's really it.
Oh my God, yeah. Have I talked about the fire alarm? Oh my God. So, do you guys know the fire alarm that went off like probably during like when Charlie was saved and everything? That totally planned thing. Yeah, no, we just accidentally triggered the fire alarm during the show.
It was unbelievable. I mean, we had done a whole bunch of testing and making sure that all the fire systems in the building were disabled. We had fire watch there. We had the whole thing, everything you're supposed to do. But for whatever reason, when we actually ran the show, the amount of smoke that came out of the monster's cage triggered an actual fire alarm in the building. But if you listen closely, the moment that the fire alarm gets triggered is the moment that he pulls the headphones off of Charlie's head.
It was incredibly
crazy timing.
Unbelievably intentional.
Incredibly timed.
Like
I just got chills.
And we did it. It was great.
I also remember sitting there with Tony Broadway, and the smoke machines were just going and going, and like literally I said to him, I was like, this seems like a lot more smoke than we practiced with. And like literally as that conversation ended, like the fire alarm went off, and we were just like, oh.
I thought, because I was like in like my headspace and everything, so I was just like, oh wow, the producers did a really cool thing here where they turned on the fire alarm. This is sick. No. And then I found out, after I got smushed, that it didn't. Yeah, that's him.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Are you okay after that? So yeah, we actually like sliced you open for that one.
Oh yeah, no, that was real. Yeah,
that was
it took
real.
a long time to heal. No, I had this prosthetic on all day, and I would be at lunch, and I'd be like, hey, and I'd like show people. I was having fun with that.
Oh, yeah. That's a hilarious image, by the way. Yeah, so oh my God, the live or die sequence I think was planned like pretty much since day one of like, I want a decision in which the audience has to choose like live or die and everything. And
by the way, that was 100% real. Like, we did not modify those votes in any way.
You guys
the way that
killed
you saw
me.
that play out was really real.
It was good. I could not be happier with how that turned out. Like we got like an actual like movie metal worker to make that box and everything. It was like, oh, it was so sick. But I just really wanted that scene. And I remember there were a couple of times where you're just like, oh, maybe we like pre-record this and have like 2 different endings or something, so that you can act in a certain way. And I was just like, no, I want to do it live. I want to scream.
Yeah, it really worked.
Yeah. Oh. And that is the end of the slideshow. That's yeah. And we're going a bit over, and I have one more little thing. I have one more little thing to show. It's nothing much. But it's still pretty cool. Do you wanna just like press that little button? We'll show. So,
little excitement in the room.
So the next chapter, essentially, or chapter, whatever you call it, is going to be called The Story of Lostfield in Generation Zero. That's sort of an announcement that like we're currently in the process of like, fully making it and everything. So it's going to be hopefully out pretty soon. It's going to be really cool. And
we can't wait.
And it is especially going to be a lot of the story that I remember a lot of people were expecting in a lot of it. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm very excited for it. I've got it all in my brain, and I'm thinking about it right now. So anyone that can read minds, please don't. Oh, but yeah, I think.
Any last words?
Are we sending us your questions? Do we have time? I don't think we have time for questions.
No, they're chasing us off the stage.
Yeah, they're putting us off, but.
This timer's been at 0
You know what?
for a hot
Honestly,
minute.
I'll go through
5
that hashtag afterward, and I'll just I'll answer a bunch of them. So on Twitter. So if you want to, I'll do that. I'll do that because we ran out of time because we were talking about so much. But yeah.
It was just so cool.
It was amazing.
I'm
The coolest
glad.
thing ever, honestly. So
I
proud.
hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys had a good time watching it. Goo Gooby, yeah.
Guys, give another huge round of applause to Ranboo. I mean, the way that we were able to do this is phenomenal. And like, just a special shout out from me, their ability to share their vision with us and be able to translate that so well for us to be able to understand was just phenomenal. I mean, it was so easy for us to pick up on everything. So I just wanted to give you another shout out.
Thank you, thank you. Stop. Thank you. Oh, this is so great. I wish that we could just stay up here, honestly. This is great.
We just got to do it again.
I guess I just got to make another thing, huh? That was the most vague thing to get a cheer. I love that. Oh, my God.
I just want to say a huge, huge thanks to the fans. This absolutely couldn't happen without you.
Oh, my God. They're playing us off.